Alright, yeah, so welcome back to my channel once again. Wait, before it even start, I already know I have not been uploading as much as I really wanted to. Um, well, also I wanted to, I'm sorry for that. I have been looking at the comments. I have been trying to find more time in my schedule to get to do it. So, and also I was planning on telling you that my videos. I may do an hour, close to an hour type video from here and there, and after those, I will do 20-minute mostly videos. This one right here is going to be for their hour one, so there's that one. So okay, let's just head into the whatever. So where we last left off, Izuku was talking with the um the people in the new people that he's just met that he doesn't even know, and they somehow got the same quirk as him, and it's really bothering him. So as Izuku is talking to these mysterious people with the same quirk as him, so Izuku is now freaking out about like the fact that all of these people that he doesn't even know even maybe related to him, share the same quirk as him, which should be not possible. It should be very impossible. And wait, I messed up. I think I said that in the last part that there were, I think, four, six. It's actually five, and one of them has red eyes like Izuku. Three of them has blue eyes, which mean you take another's life, and one of them has yellow eyes. So okay, back to the story. So the man in the middle walks over to Izuku, putting a hand on his shoulder and saying, "It's okay, calm down." He then he then proceeds to flare his bright red crimson eyes at Izuku. Izuku, calming down a little bit, begins to flare his own and taking deep breaths. The man then asks Izuku, "Better?" He replies, "Yes, a lot better." The man then stands up and says, "Well, I guess we should all introduce ourselves." Well, would that help? Izuku then nods his head and says, "Yes." Well, to start off first, my name's Scott McCall. I am, like you, a true alpha. I gain my power through sheer willpower. I have not killed anyone. And these guys, they are my pack, my friends. Styles, Liam, Lydia, and Malia. So now I know that you have a lot of questions about your power. If you really want to know, come with us. We can even teach you about your power even more than you could ever think of. Izuku taking time to think about this. Like, I don't even know these people. And he just says, "Well, I guess it won't hurt." Yeah, I guess I would. I would love to know more about my quirk and study the similarities between us two. Scott tells Izuku that to meet them on the alley on 4th Street tomorrow, 5 o'clock sharp in the morning. That that's when we will start your training at school. Scott then chuckles, and then begins to say, "Well, guess we'll be off. See you later." Scott and Izuku then wave at each other goodbye. Bakugo runs up to Izuku, telling him, "That was thanks for saving me. By the way, who were those people you were talking to?" Izuku just nods his head and says, there was nobody." Izuku then says, "Well, I guess I gotta get home now." His he again rushes home now. He rushes home, realizing how late he is, and he says, I hope my mom did not watch the news. I hope she didn't. I hope she did. Please, 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 please." He gets home. He goes to the door. He says, "Hey, mom. I decided to take the long way home. You know, nothing special happened today. At school or nothing. I was just." She then rushes towards Izuku, grabbing him and embracing him with all her might. Izuku then says, "Ah, she saw." And then she starts to begin to scold him and says, "What is wrong with you? Didn't I tell you not to use your quirk in public like that? Didn't I tell you not to? But you did it anyway." And then she starts to like, well, praise him little baby like, yeah, that's my son. You're a good hero. You're gonna be a good hero like your All Might. Then he says, I don't know whether to be like disappointed in myself for disobeying my mom's order, or I'm really confused, mom. Like, what do you? Then he just says, you know what? I quit, mom. I'm very very sorry. I should not have done that. You gave me specific instructions not to do that. I really apologize, but I'm gonna go to my room now. He gets to his room. It's right now 3 o'clock. And then Izuku is he can't sleep. He just up. Like he can't sleep at all whatsoever. And why is he coming after me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm playing a game right now. Maybe you've heard of it, Warframe. So yeah, it's a very good game. You should try it. Okay, getting off topic. Okay, so Izuku then says, you know what? I should just go for a late jog. He get him some clothes on and everything, and well, Izuku, he's he's like very very fast, and a light jog for him means full speed, tiring himself out, and that is something that he really is now used to, and his stamina and everything. So that's just something for him to now think of. And then Izuku, he's just running and running, just trying to get his mind off everything. He then begins to realize what time it is. He says, "Oh, it's 4:50. Oh crap!" Then he transforms. He actually transforms into his werewolf with the hair on the side of the face and all that. He does that, and he begins to rush he's rushing down the street looking for he's like it's now 8:57. He's rushing. He's like, wait a minute, I don't want to be late. I do not want to be late. I've never been late. He thinks of it at school. He's like never been late for school. So that's just not for him. That's just not with him right at this moment. And it's now it's 8:50. Oh my god, I just got murdered. Okay, it's now uh he didn't it's like it's 4:50. It's 4:59. He's rushing down the street. He finally sees 4th Street. He sees the alley. He rushes in and he sees all of them there. And now it just hit 9 o'clock. Scott then says, wow, kid, you were almost late there. I almost would have had to give you detention. The others behind him began to laugh. And then one of the guys says, you're really taking a hold of this teaching thing. Where was all of this when you were trying to teach me how to use mine? He said, he says, Styles, I didn't know I needed to teach you anything. You basically taught me. He says, okay, that's true. If anything, where was this at when you were teaching me? He says, man, I mean, it's not my fault. I wasn't the freaking werewolf, freaking alpha, beta, whatever you were. He says, man, you know what? It's all good. Bet. He said, you know what? Cool. And then it's when Izuku says, well, why are you guys arguing? I thought you were friends. We are friends. We've been friends for a long time. So, when does my training start? Now. Get him. All four of them begins to attack Izuku. Unexpectedly, Izuku, feeling rash, he then begins to basically he sees this as a very potential threat. I mean, two, you know, even though they may be alphas, but it's clearly shown in the show that you could be an alpha and still get your whooped by a beta. So he's now he's fighting the alpha. He's fighting the betas. And the betas, they're really doing a number on him. He's not. He doesn't want to hurt them. He doesn't want to hurt them, but then he doesn't. He knows he can sense it. He can feel it. But he don't know how he's done it. He doesn't know how he's done it, but he can feel that they're really trying to kill me, and they're really doing a number on him. But he's healing faster than they originally thought that he could possibly be able to, and that is a real problem for him. So Izuku then says, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to really try." He then He then actually he turned into his werewolf form state, and he then roars loud. He howls. He let out a huge howl, and he just start rushing at the four. He kicks Styles in his stomach, sending him back to a tree. Styles then passes out completely. He looks over at Liam, and Liam, he has explosive disorder. I guess when you get super angry, and that's not a good mix with the werewolf. He's able to control it, so he's now using it, trying to use it to overpower Izuku. It's not working. He then proceeds to try and lunge a punch at Izuku, but that just Izuku just stands there unfazed about what just happened. He's like, um, I don't really get it, but and then he punches Liam in the stomach, sending him flying in the air. He then jumps up and do a spinning kick in the air and sends Liam flying down to the ground. Liam then turns around. He's turned around on his back and begins to cough. And then the other two, Lydia and Malia, they both begin to charge at him with their nails. They begin to slice and their claws begin to trying to slice Izuku, but it's not really working. And even though that's what they're trying to do, even though they're clawing him, remember his healing is way more too quick, it's too fast for them to comprehend. Lydia then says, I'm gonna try some of this. She then lets out her hand and screams, pushing it towards Izuku. Izuku then flies back towards the tree, falling down, holding his ears as he just hears this screaming that is not, he doesn't like it, and he just howls, and it's so loud, and then he just howls over it, over the sound, blocking it out from himself, and then he stands up, and then he howls towards them, and he makes them stop. He makes her stop doing that. He makes her stop with her sonic, her banshee cries. And if you did not know, Lydia in the show, she's also a banshee. She's a banshee. She's not a werewolf in the show, but I made her a werewolf. So she's a banshee. She has two supernatural. She's basically two sources of supernatural. She's a hybrid, basically a banshee werewolf. So yeah, Malia, she's a were coyote. She's a were coyote. So there's that. So Malia, her eyes begin to glow furiously with blue. They just so bright. They're shining real bright like a lantern, a very bright lantern. She then begins to growl at him. She rushes towards Izuku. Izuku can feel that she's way different than the others. She's more vicious, ruthless, and she will do what she will if she wants to get her way, and she wants to beat Izuku and win and show him that she's better. And well, Izuku had other plans. He then begins to basically power up a little bit, and his eyes begin to glow a sharp crimson red. And this crimson, yeah, this crimson, she looks at it and she can feel the fear building up inside of her, but she doesn't let that get past her. She does not let that get to her. She rushes towards Izuku, ready than ever to freaking meet her in, even that's the truth or not. She doesn't even care. She then rushes towards Izuku, trying to land a punch on him. Izuku then dodges out of the way. Then he dodges out of the way. He shouts, "Detroit Smash!" punches he punches Malia in her face, sending her flying towards Scott. And then he looks down. Scott looks down and says, "You really did a number of my friends there." He says, "Why did they attack me? Why do you think? I can tell you're a smart kid. You wanted to test me." He says, "Exactly. I wanted to see where your skills were. Where do we need to start off at? Is there a certain place you need to be at the moment?" He says, "Well, why didn't you just say that? Because you wouldn't have taken," Scott then replies, "You wouldn't have taken the fight seriously now, would you?" He says, I guess you're not wrong. And it seemed that you had perfect control, too. You didn't kill them. Most any other alpha would have tried to take their heads off. Why do you think I didn't step in? 'Cause Izuku then powers down to his regular form, to his basically his regular state, and he says, "Well, what do we do now?" And he says, "Well, I saw how you were looking, how you were analyzing them. Um, I don't think you were possibly doing that on purpose. Were you analyzing them? What do you mean? Did you get a rush of emotions that weren't your own?" Yeah, I felt from her. It was like I felt that she was dead serious on killing me, on really killing me. And he says, yes, that is something you need to learn to control. That is something we are able to basically smell and sense the emotions of other beings, of the life forms. He says, well, I don't know how I did it, but I guess that means it's good. It's good that you're able to tap into it this early, but it's bad that you do it you can't do it on purpose. So you have to learn. You have to learn a little bit more. Okay, we got. Let's see your claw. We seeing your regenerative factor. It's very high standard for a kid alpha to be. Well, you are powerful. I've seen you regen very quickly. So he's looking and says, "Well, what's next then?" He says, "Well, your claws. I didn't get a really chance to see your claws. It seemed like you were more of hand fighter, you know." As well, yeah, Izuku then replies that, well, yeah, I trained to use my fists more than my claws a little bit because well, didn't want to kill anyone. It says, Skyden says, that's reasonable, but you know that your claws always don't have to kill them. You can immobilize them. You can stop them in their tracks. You can just heavily graze them. You don't always, it doesn't always have to be a fatal wound. He says, really? Uh, I, I, I didn't know that. I was just too scared to take any chances. It's okay, kid. I was even scared at the moment when I got mine. So just let it flow and let them come out. But control how much you want to gradually hurt the other guy. I'm just saying. You don't want to, you want to hurt them badly. You don't want to kill them. That's just all you need to have in your brain and your mind so you can understand your whole set. Your brain can understand. He looks at it and says, oh, okay, I understand. I get it now. You just need to stop being afraid. Scott then tells him. He says, well, what else? So what else do I need to improve on? So basically, you need to improve on your fighting style with your claws. They can be very useful in rational attacks, basically, but they're formed rational attacks. Your enemies will not know that. They would think that you're swinging in all directions, but actually, you're actually fighting. And I guess we can also teach you the ways of you using your freaking your your howls. I see that you use your howls a lot. As well, I I did use it on my friend once. He was he was like messing with me once, and then I got angry and I howled at him. But I know, understand he could have been scared, but this one it was like it was different. It's like it was submission. That's what it felt like from him. It's submission. And is he a werewolf? He says no. He's human. That's weird. Did you Are you sure he's not a werewolf of any sort? Yeah, I'm sure. How close are you two? He asks. He says, we're very close. I've known him since since when my power first started. Me and him been close since we were kids, very little. Wakened our quirks together, fought together, trained together. It was us, just us. He says, huh, okay, I think I may understand. I think I may know what's going on here. He says, really what? You consider him a part of your pack. He's a part of your pack, so that's what you're doing. That he's your first pack member since when you were kids. So he's going to, well, not fully, as you see. it would be normally with us. But it's some sort of it's respect. He will show you a good sign of respect once that happens. He says, "Wow, the more people you consider, and they consider you, and you accept them into your pack, the widely it would well, your power would gradually increase." And he says, "Well, I guess that's good. I guess that's good." And he also says, "Well, I mean, well, we could also, well, I guess that's enough explaining right now. Now it's my turn." Scott then turns into his wolf. He turns into his wolf state, and he rushes at Izuku, punching him, punching over and 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 over, hurting Izuku. Izuku is feeling pain. He's really feeling pain for the first time in a long time, and that's really something he does not want to happen, and he does not feel like this is okay. He then says, "What the hell is? How are you this strong?" We alphas are very strong people. All you just need to do is train. What the hell, bruh? Luckily, I'll be here to train you. And Izuku was really ready to pass out on the floor. Yeah, so Scott won due to intelligence in the battle. Izuku is also intelligent in battle, but not as much for the person who's been experiencing with his wolf side for the longest, and learning different fighting styles and fighting many other people. He's also fighting other alphas, pack of alphas, and he even fought against freaking kitsunes. And those motherfuckers, if you know the history on them, they are powerful. So let's just get that straight. Okay, so then he specifies that. So those are the one. So now Izuku has just experienced his first loss in years, in various amount of years. So it's really hard to comprehend. But then he takes as a point to learn from his mistakes. And then so they spent the rest of the night up till 6 o'clock, like 7 o'clock, training, battling. Oh, the rest of them woke up. Fortunately, good for them. They woke up. They all began to teach him on his combat training and also his hearing. Make sure his hearing is on point. It also can help with his combat training as well. Hearing the foes around him. They train until 7 o'clock, and Izuku then gets to he rushes home and says, "Oh, I gotta get to school. Sorry, Peter. Be back later." And then he heads to school. And this time, yes, it's a one more day of school. I'm gonna give this one more day of school. Izuku then gets to class, and the teacher this time I'm gonna say it was flip flop. A day later. Okay, so he tells them a day earlier. Everything happened in a day earlier, and he then says, "Well, what the y'all see you all want to become heroes later in the future. I mean, that's for everyone, right?" And then he says they all start cheering. Oh, sorry. I think that probably would have ear raped our ears. I'm sorry. Um, he then says, "Well, I see Izuku and Bakugo. You guys want to go to UA?" And he says, "Yeah, we're gonna become the next number one hero." "Well, I'm going to," Izuku says. Bakugo then stands up out of his chair and says, "Don't you start getting cocky, you snot-nosed brat. Let's not forget, I'm the one that's gonna become the number one hero. You're just gonna be number two." What do you mean? I'm the strongest one here." Then they just start smiling at each other. This Bleacher and then says, all right. Sit down, sit down. We all understand you guys have the very much potential to become the next number one hero." And as they both start smirking at each other. The class then ends. Izuku goes home, and but then he hears a howl, and he says, "What?" He says, "I just got out of school. I forgot." And he rushes to the place that he heard the howl in the woods. He goes to the woods and he sees them. He sees them and he says, Yeah, I realize something. This guy says, it's the summer for you, isn't it? He says, yeah. And he says, yeah, I realize that. Yeah, that little 5 o'clock, few hour things, that ain't working no more. He says, what? No, 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 no. He says, yeah, 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 yeah. Right? Right when you got out? Yeah, your entire days is gonna be with us. He says, I just wanted to go home and watch me some All Might videos. He says, nah, I'm your new All Might now. It's time for training. All the others then says, you know what, we still owe you. You know that, right? You know it's 5 against 1 now, right? He says, I just want to go home. He says, nah, your home is here now. They all get into their wolf form, and they just start charging at Izuku. Izuku crying, then turn gets into his wolf state, and he's like, this isn't fair. This is not fair. And then he charges at them in hours upon hours. Okay, it was like this. He got out of school at 2. He got out of school at 2:30. Isn't that the dream? Oh wow. He got out of school at 2:30, and well, they've been training up to, well, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. So they've been training for some hours now. Izuku was badly being bruised because Scott also joined in this fight. Yeah, he wasn't with that now. Yeah, you thought. Mm-mm. I saw that. I saw. Yeah, and he also stated that the partners make each other stronger. The more they fight together, the stronger they get. He specified that to him. So then he says, you know, you should probably get yourself a pack, and then you'll probably be able to take us on. We'll be. I won't put you in my pack. You have so much potential. You can make. You have your own pack member too. Bakugo, what's it? You guys are good friends. Keep him. And he says, yeah, I guess. And Izuku then leaves. The next morning, every other morning becomes the same. Him getting there early as crap, leaving late as crap. Because now it's summer, so that little 3 o'clock that he's on, I just explained, that was just because he was in school. Now, oh no, now he's going. Like he's going early in the morning. He has to go. There's no excuses, no nothing. So he gets there, and the people, I mean, for 10 months, he's been honing his skills. He's been improving his hearing even more. His claws have even gotten way more stronger as of going up a superior alpha and betas who were getting strengthened by their alpha and further improving every single step of the way. So he's just been a freaking going against powerhouses for the past 10 months now, and he's just baffled on how strong they were. Now he's just as strong as Scott normally. Normal in the way of Scott, but Scott is still stronger. And not stronger. Smarter in tactician as well as wise, so he can still beat him. And he then says, "Well, I mean, I guess I can go and go and see my mom for a bit. Oh, and by the way, yeah, as I said, like it was going on, he didn't see his mom at all. Like it was like he got home, she was asleep, and then when he left, she was woke. So she didn't, but he left her notes explaining that he's going out training. You will not see him for 10 months. He finally, after 10 months, he finally goes home, and he sees his mom at the stove cooking a whole a whole table set of food just sitting there, and he says, "Mom, who are you cooking for?" She drops the spoon that she's been mixing in with the pot, and she rushes over to Izuku, yelling, "Izuku, you're finally back. I finally get to see you." He says, "Well, who are you cooking for? This is for you." "Yeah, I got your note. You said 10 months, so I waited 10 months, calculated the time, specified this would be the day, Did you really do all of that?" "Yes." She just replies with a serious look on her face. He says, "Mom, you know you didn't have to do that." He says, "I didn't have to. I wanted to." Then he says, Okay, okay. He says, did you get any stronger on your training? He says, yeah, I got a lot stronger with the help of my new friends. Oh, these new friends, huh? Well, I would love to meet them one day. He says, yeah. He didn't. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, back to the. He then says, "Well, I mean, I can. You can meet them after the sports exam. I mean, the heroes exam." He says, "Oh, okay." And then Zuko then says, "Well, I'll go ahead to sleep. I had a long night and morning. I'm hurting." Says, "Oh, it's okay. Just eat and you can go straight to bed. In the morning, I'll have your clothes laid out. You can go to the. Thank you. I miss these days. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay." So she's just coddling him and come back. And then he then says, "I miss you." He eats a lot. And then he says, "Well, um, I would possibly love," as he's thinking in his head in bed, "I would possibly love to, like, I want to become the number one hero, but I can't pick between which kind of hero do I want to be. Do I want to be a hero that, you know, saves people, a hero that fights all the big bossy people? I don't know which one should I acquire. I don't think he thinks that why not I just be both? I mean, I have the strength for it. I have the speed. The durability is very my regeneration. I can withstand it on any attack. I'm super strong. My claws are impenetrable. And well, I guess I'll just keep it up right now. Next day comes in, and well, he got his clothes, and he heads off to the the place. He gets there, and he's about to trip or fall, but then he puts his nails. He puts up his nails, and well, um, his nail, yeah, with his nails, and he, like, with one hand, he places him on the ground as he's falling, and he actually stops himself. And the girl behind him that was going to use her quirk to save him sees the claws, and she's like, "Well, he saved himself. I wonder what his quirk is. Those must be some very strong claws." And basically, they go inside, and they go inside, and President Mike is explaining the robots to Princess Sam. Izuku is muttering a little bit to himself, just a little, and because he's trying to remember a little bit. Uh, and Boy Scout stands up. Lita, Ito, however you pronounces it. He stands up, and then he begins to talk about Deku. Deku, you know what? It's way easier to just call this man Deku. I'm not going through this torture again. Deku and Deku, and he then says, "Well, I'm sorry about me, um, you know, talking loud and everything, but to be quite honest with you, you doing the exact same thing. You didn't let the teacher explain the fourth robot. I'm pretty sure he was possibly getting, I'm 100% certain he was getting to it until you interrupted him. And, well, whose fault is that now?" He And President Mike then says, "Exactly, my boy. I was actually going to get to that until this young man actually did interrupt me." He says, "Show off. I don't like him already." And Zubu just sits back down, just wondering, like, I wonder what is his problem. Why is he so angry at me? And remember, he can smell the emotions. He knows that what he had and like who it's towards and everything. So yeah, that ain't hitting it. That ain't he ain't with that, bro. So he's like building up a little bit towards him too. he gets a perfect score on you know, the freaking the test, the written part. He gets a perfect score on that one due to the fact of him also since honing the skills of his brain, the senses, and everything. The more he studied and everything, they did Scott and them did help him study and everything. They noticed that he wanted to become a hero, so he had to learn this stuff. He had to get to know a little bit. So they was cool with it, and he actually learned it a lot better. So now that that's out of the way, now we get to the the fighting part. They're now all at the entrance, and Izuku sees Oraka. He noticed her right when she was gonna save him. He felt the intent of kindness, sweet, and generosity, and the plan to save and help. That's what he sensed from her. But he just brushed it off and went on his to the place, going out the doors. He goes up to her in quick speeds, faster than Ida could even dream of going, and trying to stop him. He goes and says, "It's okay. It's okay. You're gonna do well. You're gonna do great on this test. And guess what? I bet that you're gonna make it into the number one class in UA." She didn't blush and says, "I don't think I'm that, but think I'm that good." He says, "It's okay if you don't think you're not that good, but you should, because I know that you're that good." He says, "You don't even know my quirk, because I don't need to." And then she just stops talking, and President Mike then says, "Three, two, one." Izuku, the doors open. Izuku rushes on all fours, rushing towards the door, leaving. And they all like, he didn't say go. It didn't says, President Mike then shouts, "There's no countdown in a real battle. Follow that kid's lead." And then they all start running. He, um, Lita is trying to catch up to Izuku, trying to show him up, with speed, like, since you think you're all good and all better and everything, I'll just, up you with this. But Izuku, who he ain't no pushover, my boy, he quick on his feet. He's able in hands. He out of there. He gone. And Izuku is rushing real quick. He's just leaving. He's just leaving everybody in the dust. Yeah, he's leaving them all. But not just with no speed, my boy. He's also been fucking up some robots, three pointers to be exact. He's been murking all of them. He's been tearing them all to shreds, biting through them, and he's in it, and he's just in his regular form with teeth and claws. That's it. And he's just been doing that to them. He's just been tearing them all to shreds. Three pointers, two pointer, three pointer, again, another three pointer. Just racking up the points. And it's astounding. The judges, how fast and how swift his movements are. They look more like an animal and rash and unpredictable, but they're, well, how can I put it? They're like contained. The strength all behind it. Says this kid, he must have been training for years to master his quirk. He says, yeah, he must have. He said, then they replied saying, he definitely has a good chance of getting to this school. And and um, All Might, he has not chosen the successor yet. He definitely has not chosen the successor yet. He's still looking, and he notices Izuku. He noticed him way before during the fight with the sludge villain. He remembers that kid from 10 months ago. He remembers that is the one that that saved the other young man in the other section of the test. And he then says, I planned to get him, asked him if he wanted the quirk or not, but if he wanted my quirk, but I wasn't able to find him. Maybe I can get him this, after this. And he said, it's transitioned back to Izuku. Izuku is now like, well, I think I got enough. I think I got enough points. Um, Maybe I should just get a few more just in case. He then begins to rack up a few more points, a few one pointers, two pointers, here and there. He's leaving the three pointers for people who need the points a little bit more better, a little bit more. And then he senses something. He senses fear all around, and, and he starts to feel the ground trembling, and then he turns around and he sees a giant 0 pointer, and he sees Oraka, and he's getting mad. He's like, she's gonna die. I can't let her die. He's getting furious. Fury. Yes, his eyes begins to glow and fume red. He then he then begins to transform into a wolf state, but then it begins to shift like it begins to shift and turn to more of a ballistic, wrathful state. He begins to his back begins to like spread out and become uneven. His hands begin to arms begin to elongate and his claws begin to grow even longer. He's getting taller and bigger and strength in size. He's even faster than what you thought he would have been if he's that big. He's holding strength that he cannot hold back anymore. He rushes towards Ochaku, and he's just running and running, building up the speed and momentum. He runs up, he jumps up into the air, and then he shouts it, and he howls it as well. Hunters. He didn't shout Hunters Detroit Smash, and he decimate. Now you may be saying I'm going overboard with this strength, but hey, you that mad? Fool, you could do a lot, especially if you're a werewolf. So, and if you got a better name for that one, and it's a Detroit one, so is that the Detroit Smash or something with it? If you got a better name, just tell me. Okay, so then he then shoots. He decimates the entire head of the robot and half of the lower body as well. And then he he jumps down and he goes to Ochaku, and he goes to Ochaku. He stands there like he's trying to remember what was he doing. Then he says, that's right. He remembers he wants to protect her. He then he takes the robot begins to fall forward. And then he grabs Ochaku and he launches the rebel off of her, and he heads straight towards the away from the robot, and he then crouches. Stupid. I'm stupid. He then stops and puts her down as he begins to get out of his transformation. His new that he doesn't even know he had, and it just brought it out. He just brought it out, and it's just he's fascinated with it. He's gonna tell his teacher about it, about what he just obtained, and well, the the Scott obviously know he's gonna know what this is. I'm gonna tell you that much. He knows what this is. So yeah. Um. So yes, he gets her out of the way. Then recovery girl, she gets there. Begins to help um um Ochaku, and she's now healed up and ready to you know get stand up and everything, but she still is more fatigue and everything. Her quirk using her quirk a little too much, and well, um, using her quirk a little too much, and the exhaustion from it, and plus her getting healed by Recovery Girl. Now, um, the President Mike then shouts that the exam is now over. Everyone in the back is looking at Izuku as he's in this form, and they're like, "What even is this? What even is he? Is this some type of enhancement, mutation, transformation quirk?" They're just going through all the plays in her head, and then Izuku then he begins to calm down a little bit better, realizing that she's safe. He begins to transform back into his normal state, but one minor downgrade. Something happened. Yeah, his clothes popped off. Yeah, when him transforming, they ripped off, and yeah, they all and Ochaku was in front of him when he put her down, so he had a clearer view of his masculinity, and that kind of traumatized her. And even though she was good enough to stay awake from the fatigue that she had, yeah, that didn't keep her awake. She passed out. She literally passed out, embarrassed, And amazed on what she saw, she could not comprehend it, and she passed out. So my boy Izuku ain't out in these streets slacking. He getting them hoes. You already know. So uh, so Izuku then says, "Well, I guess I can." And he's used to being naked because where he lived with for 10 months, they were definitely used to it by then because of what they were, what happened and stuff. They were used to it. Most of the time, in fights, their clothes would get ripped off and they would still be fighting, junk swinging everywhere. Yeah, exactly that. So it was no like surprise of what was happening or anything. So yeah, they then recovery girl then gives him her coat to wrap around his waist, and then she escorts him to the office to get him some good clothes. And as he's in her office, All Might then tells recovery girl to give him a minute. He then says he sees Izuku, and he's finishing putting on his clothes, he says, "Young man," he says, "All Might, I didn't think that you would be here." He says, "Well, yeah, I'm going to be a teacher here." He says, "Really? No way. That's cool." He says, "Yeah, I guess it is. To train the new generation, I see." He says, "Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you something since 10 months ago when you saved that boy." He says, "What is it, All Might?" He says, "You, I wanted to know, would you consider taking my quirk?" He says, "What? Taking your quirk? What do you mean?" "I have, my quirk is named All for One. I'm so, I think I'm getting a little too concentrated in this game right quick." He says, my quirk's name is One for All, and it's been passed down to generation, getting stronger, which every user is holding, it has ever been held by. And I choose you, Izuku Midoriya, to hold this power and become my successor." And Izuku is taking, he says, wait. Now he's a little bit fascinated to the point of sharing power due to the fact of, well, being a fucking werewolf and biting niggas and freaking scratching niggas to freaking make them become a werewolf. Basically, they're sharing power. So, and then says, well, um, yes, I'll take the quirk. Toshinori All Might is happy. He's fascinated. He says, "Finally, I found a worthy successor, able to take on the mantle of One for All, able to stop, capable. I'm positive, capable to stop One for All for One. Oh my lord, why do I keep doing this to myself? Okay, able to stop All for One." And then he says, "Okay, we're just gonna, well, tomorrow you're gonna need to go to train. Today we're gonna go to the beach and you're gonna train." Ooh, I don't think I can um do that. He says, "What? What do you mean? I gotta go with my teacher. He trains me." And then he says, "What?" He says, "Well, I guess you can meet them. Them? Yeah, they changed my quit. I guess." And you told the sure secret. I guess I'll tell you mine. Alright, later that day, Izuku and All Might, they began, Izuku didn't hear us later that day. Izuku was walking down the street, heading to the place. He didn't hear us howl, and he knows that is Scott calling him, telling him, "Hurry your butt up." Scott says, "Ah, crap, I don't want to be late." Alright, hey, let's go, come on. And they begins to run and shoot towards the destination. All Might following behind Izuku, and Izuku's like, "Wow, I'm very fast. I didn't think I got this fast. Am I this close to All Might like that?" And he says, "Well, I guess, but um, they didn't get there." Scott then turns around and says, "Well, it's about time, bro. I can smell you all the way. You were that far away. Why weren't you running?" He says, "Well, I also smell someone else. Who is this?" He says, "Oh, you're All Might. Nice to meet you." Um, Nice to meet you. Um, Scott McCall. I'm this kid's teacher, and he's late. Says you teach him on his quirk. How did I've been teaching him for 10 months? So you made him this strong. Well, he was already strong to begin with. He just needed to tap deeper into the potential of his strength. Something only we knew of. He says, "How do you know of this exactly?" Well, he begins to flare his eyes, and he says, "Well, let's just say that we're similar in many ways." And Izukinen says, "Well, this is my teacher, and this is his pack, and those are also my friends." And he says, "Okay, so what was the secret you went to?" Guys, they also have to know your secret as well. I'm gonna keep going. And he says, "Well, um, I'm, well, his successor now. I I don't know how this works, but hey, yeah, I'm his successor, and he wants to transfer his quirk over to me. He basically have a quirk that can transfer power, but if this was me beforehand, I would not have believed it. Just, yeah, I understand the concept, the irony, huh? Us having power too that transfers it. Oh my god, Luke says, wait, what? Okay, that's the secret I wanted to tell you. My power is not a quirk. It's more of just power, and basically, I'm a werewolf. Um, the ones from the stories and everything. Yeah, my strength and all that. Werewolf. And he says, "Really, a werewolf? Okay, that's crazy. You want to tell me that's crazy, but you want to come to tell me to take your quirk, which in many generations never been possible, ever heard of, and you call him mind crazy? Okay, okay, pal. I think we might want to step back on the crazy part." He says, "Okay, you have a point. You have a very clean and fair point there." And he says, "Okay, how do I accept your power?" And he says, "Well, just eat this." Just, wait, what? Eat it. Just, you have to ingest some of my DNA to get the quirk in your system, you know, and it has to digest. Izuku takes the hair, eats the hair, and he then says, "Oh wow, this is amazing." He says, "No, that's impossible. You should it should have taken a couple of hours for that to digest." He says, "Well, I guess it's part of my genetic structure, being able to digest things pretty quickly." He says, "Well, I guess, but I, I have to keep my mind open, just like you kept your mind open about this." Yeah. Then he heads over to Scott, and he says, "So you've been teaching about his quirk, his power. Yes, we all have it. I have to train him. I have to train him about honing his skills a little bit more. He still needs training some more, and well, it seems like he's gonna have to cut in more time for training because he has to learn how to use another quirk. Well, power. Well, quirk, and he has to learn to put it. You have to learn to put that on top of your power too. Isn't that gonna be fun?" Izuku now remembering the 10 years of complete torture from all of them, and he says, "Well, I gotta deal with All Might too. This is not fair. Why did I decide to do this?" And then he says, "I take it back. I take it back." And he says, "Well, it's too late, young Midoriya. You've already taken my quirk, and it pretty seems like your teacher, your master, really enjoys having you as a student, and I would enjoy having you as a student." He says, "No, no, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. This is not fair. Stop. No." And you spend, they spend hours of training all fucking week. All week. And Izuku, All Might then jumps Izuku home, and well, he stands him up and says, "You're okay." And he says, "Yeah, I'm fine." He knocks on the door, All Might leaves, and he goes in the house. He says, "Hey, Mom." He says, "Izuku, where are you?" He said, "Oh, I was out training again." He says, "Oh, okay." she says, well, um, well, I didn't make you. He says weekly, it's okay. I'm just gonna go to my room, and he walks to his door, and before he can grip the doorknob, he falls headfirst into his door, breaking the door and falling asleep on the floor. And that's where I'm gonna end this what if off. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and remember, like I said, that this is like these hour-long videos are not gonna be always gonna be there. They're gonna be 20-minute videos coming up. I'm also going to do that. I'm also gonna bring out that part 5 of what if Asta was the son of Meliodas and Elizabeth, and best believe um someone someone's gonna pop up in there. I like who I'm putting in there. I'm pretty sure everyone in Seven Deadly Sin base fan base like my boy. So hint hint. Even though everyone in it is only like one girl and okay, whatever. So yeah, all right. So you got a lot of choices to think of. All right, yummy out.